Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back again in another idiomatic expression episode. In this episode, we are just going to continue talking about the most common idiomatic expressions in English. And to those people who do not know what an idiomatic expression is, it's a common expression like to give somebody the cold shoulder. It's a phrase that cannot be understood by separating each one of the words independently and analyzing them independently. So to give someone a cold shoulder is an expression that we cannot understand by just looking at the word cold and shoulder. They need to be smushed together and understood in a social context. So if someone gives you the cold shoulder, they're just ignoring you or they're not paying attention to what you're saying, and for an intentional reason. The reason is something that is justifiable on their side, but it's not justifiable on your side, or you don't know. The theme of today is to talk about your English and how you can better your English to the next level. One way that you can reach when coming of age is to be able to understand how language is used in the social context. I know, the kind of topic that I'm presenting right now is for the advanced level, probably for B2 plus levels of English, but there are so many lessons online for the beginners level. Some people ask me, why don't you offer the translation? Well, first of all, technology has provided us with enough and ample sources to understand the kind of text or the kind of speech that I'm producing by just doing an extra effort, going to the subtitle on YouTube and look for the CC translation of my speech into Arabic. You can understand the Arabic version, and my care is to provide you with the context while I'm talking. So you don't have to cook your goose by just looking at the kind of text or the kind of speech that I'm presenting and saying, well, I don't understand what this man is saying. Actually, you can understand it by looking at the CC or the caption title and then see where you can find, when you scroll down, Arabic. Actually, Arabic is very accessible because it's the beginning of the English alphabet. Furthermore, I don't want to be the copycat by copying the same lessons that everybody else is making. We need to have our footprint in creating English lessons. We need to produce something different, something utilizable, something advantageous to give you that kind of prestigious aura or prestigious look or prestigious sense when you're speaking English by continuously listening to me and highlighting the words, writing down the words that you don't know in a notebook. It is very important that you keep that in mind, because if you do not recycle, and this is pretty much something that I've talked a lot about in the previous videos, you have to recycle the vocabulary. It's not about amassing so many vocabulary. It's about recycling them in a way that makes sense to you and it can be reproducible, socially speaking. Some people access sources that are actually costing them a lot of money. They cost them an arm and a leg. They pay this amount of cash to buy these sources, but actually I don't think that is justifiable. They don't need this amount of money to be spent on sources that they can access free online. Like this lesson, for example, I'm creating this lesson to you for free so you can access, you can listen while you are commuting in a car or having a break at work, writing down these kind of verbs or nouns or adjectives or adverbs and making use of them. And the vocabulary that I am saying cover a lot of ground. So please don't be a couch potato and lazy and don't do any kind of work. You have to exert some effort to be able to use language efficiently and actively socially. Engage with a lot of people. Try to socialize. Have a group of friends, a circle of friends that can empower your skills, can empower your speaking skills, can encourage you to speak better version of English. Because I have always talked about the concept of scaffolding, and it's a very common expression by a linguistician called Vygotsky. He is a psychologist, a linguistician who came up with the concept of scaffolding, or the zone of proximal development, where he says that in order to improve your skills, in a nutshell, you have to push yourself one step harder than the normal person does in normal circumstances by engaging with people who have higher skills than you. And in that way, your English is going to become better. You will find what is necessitated to be communicated. So from crack of dawn, have a list of items that can be achievable, that can be scalable, that can be measurable, and do them. But you should also have a vision. So cross the bridge when you come to it. When it comes to achieving these plans, don't say something really, really, really ambitious and unachievable. Just cross the bridge when you come to it by saying, well, I will focus on the top 100 verbs in English. And then cross the bridge when you come to it. So don't cry over spilt milk by saying, well, I've lost many days and years of my life not being able to achieve the target goal that I have in this matter. Sometimes I understand that you need to crunch time to squeeze in a time for your learning of English, for your listening of English. And that comes by focusing on time management. So how do we focus on time management? Well, you start gradually and consistently dedicating 5 minutes today, 6 minutes tomorrow, 6 minutes the day after, 7 minutes the day after, and finally you hit the target. In English, we say curiosity killed the cat, but you have to be curious. That's not going to kill you. When I say you have to be curious, you have to listen to other sources that you find different or not similar to the ones that you have when learning. Try something out. Try something different. And we cannot cut corners when it comes to language learning. There's no shortcut to it. There is no work that can be done improperly. You need to make sure that you're doing things in a habitual manner to cut the mustard. In a habitual manner to cut the mustard. Some people say, well, I have had enough. I will cut my throat because I cannot find a way to speak English. I tell them, well, just be patient. You have to get it day to day to cut to the chase. And to cut to the chase is to be very brief about what you want to say. In English, we say cut to the chase, means just be brief. Tell me what you want. So our days in life are numbered, and everybody has a dead duck. But not all dead ducks mean that we failed forever. Some people have dead ducks, but then later they learn from them, and then they pass, they succeed. Some people have their projects and plans of learning English dead in the water, but they never stop. They continue. They carry on. So they are not just dead wood. No, they move around. They seek out for knowledge. They learn from other people. Everything we know, we learned from someone else. And the only passion that they have is the passion deep down themselves to become the better version of themselves when it comes to learning of English. So don't be devil's advocate and saying, well, some people say that English is really hard to learn. No, that's not true. This is completely counterintuitive. We are born to speak more than one language. So just saying that I can only speak one language is just a shame. Shame on you if you say I speak one language. You have to be able to speak two languages. Our brain is wired to speak two or more languages, to be able to be a polyglot, to be able to be a bilingual, to speak two or more languages, or multilingual person, what we call polyglot or hyperglot. Some people spend donkey's years to learn the language, and they never retreat. They never withdraw. They keep carrying on the effort that they do and exert to learn the beauty of this language. However, some people exaggerate and they say, I am a very fluent English speaker. I tell them, don't count your chicken before they have hatched. But don't give up the day job. When we learn language, we should not put all of our eggs in one basket. We have to diversify the sources that we have. And when you struggle, we say in English, drastic times call for drastic measures. 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 Keep repeating it again and 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 again. This is how you master language. I keep repeating this expression again and again and again and again because I want it to stick, to be glued in your memory so you can recycle it. So don't drop out of the course of English that you have just started learning just because you feel frustrated or because you heard something sensitive from other people, or when people trying to bully you to say, well, you can be an English speaker. Just give them the cold shoulder. And last but not least, if you want to learn English, you need to eat, sleep, and breathe English. It should be part of your breathing. It should be part of your sleeping. It should be part of your thinking. It should be part of your speaking and eating and listening. It should be part of yourself to be able to master it, to be able to speak it fluently. I love you all and have a wonderful, productive day full of English.